For the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the PopCulturists PlayStation Podcast. Over 40 years of playing PlayStation and 10 plus years that games media combined. I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, you can. Come and check out our socials. Twitter, Facebook, Discord, Instagram, all of those links can be found in the description below.
We still don't have Facebook back yet, by the way. I don't know what's going on with there. But if you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturists, where you can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can by telling your friends, telling your family about this PlayStation pod. And if you are listening on podcast service, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you are watching on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopculturists, as well as our merchandise store, popculturists.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Now, Max,
Yo.
I don't know if this technically counts as like some inside shit, because nothing's been laid down the ground yet. However, now you remember about 2 weeks ago when we sat here and we had a big old chat about the backbone and how it's really cool and how it's all tons of fun.
You mean how you had a chat?
I nerded out it real hard about it.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I vaguely remember something to that.
Yeah. And then the next
It's really
night,
hard to tell when you talk about stuff, because most of the time it's about your TV. So I just kind of zone out when you're like shelling for things.
that was a good record. I didn't even mention it that time. You just buried me on news reviews. But so on Monday, when I had Ange over, and he brought his Backbone 1, I dicked about with it, and then I played the Backbone. Oh, no. Ange and I just kissed. It was fine. Either way, I took a bunch of dumb photos with the Backbone, put them on Twitter, tagged him. It was an absolute laugh. A couple of days later, I get a lovely email from the PR team or one of the marketing companies that are working for the Backbone, being like, "Hey, man, how you doing?" And thankfully, it wasn't a cease and desist. So that's certainly step number 1. So, Max, it's very possible that we may or may not get to fuck around with some Backbone 1s. That'd be pretty cool.
It would be pretty cool. The only issue is you have an iPhone and I have an Android.
Well, works for me. Success to Betson. Either way. But yes, how's everyone in the chat? What's up, Taz Holes? What's up, Buddy Watson? As you know, we're live on the Twitch each and every week as we record the show, which means we get to chat to the people as we record the show, which is going to be fun because we've got some things to talk about today, Max. There's some things that are in the news stuff. There's games we've been playing, but we always start the show each and every week with how you been?
Shit talking.
Yeah, we just talk shit for about 45 minutes. How long's the show? About an hour.
How have I been? Yeah, it's been a pretty cool week. I have done not much apart from game and watch TV. I started and finished all of Sandman on Netflix.
Oh, how was it?
Fantastic. I started and finished all of season 8 of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Wait, I
Netflix.
got the notification today that it was live. Have you watched it all today?
I got it yesterday. I watched it all yesterday and today. There's only 8 episodes. It's very short.
Why only 8?
You'll see.
Are they dropping half seasons? Is that the point, or is it the whole season?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Oh, this is the end, isn't it?
Yeah. This is it.
I don't think I can watch it. So, am I gonna cry? Am I gonna cry, Max?
Good. It's very good.
Am I gonna cry?
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh, I've cried at enough TV shows all the time. I don't need to do it more.
Other than that, we haven't done too much. We went and house update. Our house has a roof now.
Hey!
And the bricks are there to start building the outside of said house. That's cool. I did this less than ideal Alice in Wonderland themed scavenger hunt throughout Geelong on Saturday. It was basically Pokemon Go in Alice in Wonderland. It was very kind of tame. That killed about 2 hours of my life.
It was one of those those geocaching sort of scavenger hunts.
Yeah, but had no geocaching whatsoever. It was literally like playing Pokemon Go.
Ah.
And instead of spinning Pokestops, you'd spin Alice in Wonderland characters.
Okay, sure.
It was fine. Only cost $10.
$10 ain't too bad.
So that was alright. Other than that, not much this weekend or this week. What about you?
Let me see. What did I get up to this week? Not a whole lot. Mostly just work. Even on the weekend I worked as well. So yesterday, time of recording on the Saturday, I did head up to a expo in the city. It's called the Care Expo. It's an expo designed for individuals that work in support services. So it's a great way if you're someone that had to get supports for a family member or a friend or yourself, you go to the expo and get all the information you need. So Paris and I went there to show off Gamer. So for those that don't know, my day job is I run a program as part of a company called GenU, where we use gaming hobbies, which include console games, tabletop role-playing games, board games, content creation, you name it, as a form of socialization and skills building for those that are on the autism spectrum, neurodiverse, or have mental health challenges. So we went there to be like, hey, this is what we do. And it was really cool, except for the fact we were booked at 9:15 in the morning on a Saturday, and the doors opened at 9. So we spoke to like 7 people. So that was pretty cool, I suppose. So next time we're gonna fight for a better spot, because that's a pretty garbo spot. You know, it's a bit poo. But other than that, that was pretty fun. So yeah, work has been work. Not a whole lot. We went to Gameology after the expo on yesterday, which allowed me to pick up some more miniatures for Marvel Crisis Protocol. I picked up the Deadpool box that comes with Deadpool, his taco truck, and Bob, Agent of Hydra. So I got them built and primed, and I might paint them sometime this week. But let me think. What else did I get up to this week? Oh, I did have a wrestling show this week, which threw me out. Was that last week?
No, it was on Wednesday.
No, it was on Wednesday. Oh, it was on Wednesday. So yeah, the wrestling company that I work for, they did their Mat Earth Society, which is where they just go to some random venue, put mats down and fight. It was at a barbershop. It was fucking dumb, and it was absolutely awesome. Much love. But anyway, that's enough about that, because I'm trying to I can't remember anything that's happened this week, because all I can think about right now is a game. So let's get to the section where we talk about what we've been playing this week, and the first one that comes to my head, and there's a second one and I'll get to it. It's Cult of the Lamb. This game is fucking awesome. So straight off the bat, we were provided a code by the team over at Power PR, so big thank you to them. And even if we didn't, I would have bought the shit out of this. So the way, so I'm going to lay down at least how I read it, or how I interpret the game, and then you can all correct me, yourself included, Max. So, the Cult of the Lamb. You play a lamb who is the last lamb to be sacrificed due to some prophecy, and by doing so, you end up in some afterworld where there's some bad dude who's like, haha, joke's on them. You were supposed to die. So now you're going to go back, create a cult under my power, and then destroy all the 4 bishops that sentenced you to death. Deal? Done. That's the story. And then you come back and you recruit followers and you sort of build your army, and then you gain. I don't think I can accurately describe the genre that this game is. All I can describe are the influences that make this game. These little things that pop up in this game make me go, it's got Binding of Isaac inspiration. It's got Farming Sim inspiration. It's got, what's it called? Not Slay the Spire. There's that.
It definitely has.
Is it Slay the Spire? Oh, yeah, cool. There's Slay the Spire is on there as well. I get that one another game mixed up, which is awesome. It's got, Stardew with a bit of fishing, bit of farming. It's got people management. There's there are so many things about this game, and every single part of it is great. There is I'm a big believer in that we are the sum of our influences. We have every, like, we are built up of all the things we've experienced and we've seen who that the other. And there's nothing wrong with wearing your influences on your sleeve, like knowing what has assisted you getting to where you want to be. And I look at this game and I see this game knows exactly what its influences are, and we're going to pull from them and we're going to make something brand new and amazing. And that is what the Cult of the Lamb is. And what I love about this game, Max, even better, is that last week I was like, nah.
This is like my most anticipated game for this week, and you're like, eh.
I was like, no. And the second that I've played it, I'm like genuinely blown away. This game is fucking amazing. Max, your turn to gush, and then we'll just like, smooch this game endlessly.
So I've been referring to it as a roguelike micromanagement sim.
That is a much better description than the one that I gave it.
Because, like you mentioned, you've got to micromanage your own cult. You got certain things you have to do that benefit you from doing each day. So, like, giving sermons to your cult allows you to upgrade your cult. Collecting the prayers of your followers. Doing little side quests for your followers. Some of them are really cool. Some of them, like, hey, my wife's been captured. Can you go save her? She's in X location.
Or can you just go collect me 10 flowers?
Or go collect me 10 flowers. Or, hey, I feel like playing some practical jokes on some of the other guys. Can you cook them some poop? And you're like, okay.
You could say no, but it's not.
You could say no, but when you say no, you lose 35 faith. And faith is one of the big things in the game. You have to keep it up. Same with hunger. And you want to keep your sanitary, like how sanitary your
keep it clean. Keeps you clean, You
gotta keep them clean. So you have to manage all these things, and then if you accept the quest, you've got a time limit. And if you forget about it, you lose the 35 faith anyway. Which I've done a few times. I've forgotten that I've had them. Because I've played this game for about 5 hours so far. Mm-hmm. I've beaten 2 of the 4 bishops. And I spend half of my time just doing the micromanagement sim stuff, and the other half I'm probably doing the roguelike experience, going through the different areas similar to like Binding of Isaac or games like that, and killing the monsters and progressing the story. It's real good.
It's so good. It's
real good.
See, because I'm like, so the way that the game does have a day-night cycle, does a collective day sort of thing. So you have a rough idea of how quickly you get things done, etc. So I think I'm pretty much on like day 35-ish, like a late 30s, and I can tell you, hand on heart, that like 25 of them I've spent just managing my people. So whether that be, building their houses so they have enough beds.
How many followers are you sitting on at the moment?
Like 17, 18.
Okay.
But I've had a couple die of old age, so I have to now replenish my cult.
I've never let anyone die from old age. When they get old and they come to me and be like, hey, I've got like a couple of days left to live, I sacrifice them.
Oh, well, I did.
I let them I perform the ritual and let them ascend.
Yeah, you ascend. Don't sacrifice them. You ascend them. It's the good faith. But yeah, I had to say, but there's one of them that I did that way, and the other two because I went out. So the main management part of the game is resources, right? So you need to get your stone, your wood, your gold, your meat, etc. Right? So I have then gone out into the wilderness to do these different resource runs. And I come back, and they're just dead. Because they were old when I left. And now that I've opened up, I've taken out the first boss. So I can now run that first area like through 3 times in a row. Yeah. And then I can come back. So I just fuck off and do the 3 times in a row. Come back, look after my people. I'm like, hey, man, hey. I pass on, faith and, I bless each of them. I'm like, hello, Mr. Bunny Rabbit, bless. Oh, hello, Mr. Wolf, bless. Hello, dear, bless. And then I kind of just like make sure their farm's all good. And your head's coming off camera, by the way. Shift yourself. Sorry. There you go. So I go and I do all that sort of stuff because I just kind of had such a good run. And then I go to a little fishing spot and I fish for a while. Because if you don't fish for a couple of days, I don't know whether there's a cap, but the fish just keep coming.
I'm just gonna cut you off real quick. German in the chat. I missed the start. Cult of the Lamb, yay or nay? It's a hard
Yay, dude.
Hard yay.
Absolute yay. Like, unquestionable yay. Like, we've named the episode Cult of the Lamb a Game of the Year contender. A Game of the Year. Not even a contender. It is a Game of this year. That's very vague. But it is one of the best games of 2022. I can promise you that. And, look, the only thing that could possibly derail this as my number one is God of War. And that's even if it comes. Because we do know there's another game that's looking forward to that's now in February. So, but, it's so damn fucking good. Like, I know we're not really providing the most adjectives. It's just more of just us gushing about it. But I'm really, really enjoying it. Like, you can... It's all the micromanaging stuff. See, if I was to explain this game, I would believe that this game is the perfect mesh of what you love, Max, and what I love. So this is the ultimate Ryan and Max game. The Betson and Max game. We always talk about what that's a Max game, that's a Betson game, this, that, the other. It's interesting to have them mesh together because you and I like really different things. Because you're not really into the farming like I am. You're really into like roguelike stuff where you just kind of grind for loot and shit. I am okay with it. It's not really up there for me. But for me, that grind is what then fuels my farm, which fuels my people and my management. And then, vice versa. I just can't. It's just too good. And like I like personalizing my cult. Because I'm lazy, I couldn't think of a name. It was either going to be the Cult of the Butt. And then I went with the Cult of Pop instead because it kind of works with the name of what we do. What's your cult's name, Max?
Well, the one that I wanted doesn't fit.
Oh, what'd you want?
I tried to do Possessed Angels.
Oh,
it doesn't fit. It's too big.
Oh.
So I just randomly generated a name.
What'd you end up with?
Can't have what I want. I think it's like Endless something.
Oh, okay. I could have just called it PopCulturists and got away with it, but I wanted to call it the Cult of something.
And then, so I found for a while I had a real hard time with the micromanagement stuff because I screwed up my early game upgrades.
Oh no!
So the way you get upgrades is once your followers pray to your totem enough and you gather all that stuff, you can unlock a building. You get to unlock one building each time, and I've gone up the farming path. I want to be able to provide food, like food and wood and all that stuff is sometimes hard to come by. And now I have this issue where there's a fucking ton of dickheads in my cult that are dissenting, and I've got nowhere to put them. So now I'm trying to like power level myself so I can get like the prison and the confessional box and like brainwashing stations.
Yeah, see, like this is where my advantage. So the way I like to play games, especially with skill trees, is I kind of like to even it out as I go across, which normally leaves me having none of the top end shit because I just run out of fucking points. I never funneled down one path specifically, and and with this I did look ahead. I'm like, all right, the way the different systems in this game operate is you really have like 9, 10 things to monitor. I'm pulling a number out of my butt, but there's a number of things to monitor and to gain points from. So there's obviously the food. There's off the top of my head, faith, food, wellness, your own health. Whether you're gonna have followers that change, then you also have to go and collect all your different blessings, all that sort of stuff. There's all these different things, and even within like the resource management of itself, while also the main story of running through these different areas to take out these bishops, there's all these different things you have to consider in essentially like what I would deem a farm simulator, like a Stardew or your Harvest Moons or your Story of Seasons, in that you look like you only have so much time. Now you don't have to sleep, so you can just fucking go forever. So you don't have to think, I can only get so much done in a day. You can go from and keep going. But like you do have to monitor your time in the same way that I bug it off into the resource area and to where I'm fighting all the people and very Binding of Isaac. But everything keeps going. I come back. My people are hungry because they forgot how to eat without me. Like there's poop everywhere until I built an outhouse. Then they shit the living crap out of that outhouse. And then I was like, oh, whatever. And then I had to dispose of all the bodies and then re-bless everyone and do all my sermons. And then a couple of days are gone. And then I'm like, oh, shit, well, I better go back out and get my resources. Or I'll go fishing for a little while because all the fish just seem to, like, hibernate, like, spawn in this one area. And then if you let the go for a couple of days, there's just so many. I'm like, I'm just going to keep going, build all that up, come back, sell some of that fish or use it to make food and then go, oh, fuck it. I need to do more sermons, this, that, the other. And then I go back. It's awesome. Everything I just said sounds like a complaint. But like what I love about this game, apart from its incredibly beautiful design, is that none of these individual things that you have to monitor seem overwhelming. Everything that you can do, like you're not going to get hard fucked out by anything, which I really appreciate. Like, so if you just happen to, skip some days of doing your summons or your sermons or whatever, and your faith is kind of low, you're not going to have to then focus on it for days to build it back up. There are ways you can just go bing, 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 and it's normally back there. It's resource demanding, but you can make it happen. It is a lot of that, that decision making, like risk versus reward in some ways. But nothing's going to choke you out. And I'm playing on normal. You're playing on the same, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and like I as of right now, I don't feel too overwhelmed or too like as you mentioned, too shafted in the decisions that I made, which is good at least for me. But even though you mentioned you've made these decisions around the farming side and your skill tree is a bit wonk, do you feel like the game is punishing you for doing that, or do you feel like you could recover pretty quickly?
No, I've recovered pretty quickly. There's some things that as the game progresses, things do get a little bit more demanding. So, for instance, I'm now at a stage where birds will come fuck my crops up.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to start. I need to invest in scarecrows. Otherwise,
I haven't done that yet.
Otherwise, it's just a nightmare. And it's also not as grueling as most roguelikes when you die. So when you're doing the actual runs, if you die, you lose like only half of the materials you gain.
Kind of like a little tax. It goes, I'll try again.
There are I've got an upgrade that allows me to focus, and I can just leave the dungeon at any time and go back to my base. And then you lose a little bit of your resources that way, but it does give you the benefit of like piecing out, which is nice. Because each of the bishops so far, during certain points of your run, they will curse your cult. So the first one did something, I can't remember what the first guy did. The second guy makes all your people hungry. He's just like, hey, you need food. The third guy just straight up makes them sick. So you've got to go back to base and rest them, because if you don't, if they're sick, they will continue to try and work.
Yeah. But
they will die within a day or two. Yeah. But if you rest them, or if you use the med bay, I have a med bay now. They will recover, and they get back. You're down for 2 days of one less guy either praying or tending to the crops or cleaning up after the other cult members. But it's better than trying to deal with dead bodies, and because the choices for the dead bodies are, like you said, you can bury them in a pit, or you can harvest them for resources. But your faith goes down if you harvest them for resources. So it's that management of
it does kind of like, are you going to be?
Do I need food more than I need faith, or do I need faith more than I need food? You've got to balance those things, and obviously, we haven't touched upon the rituals that you can do that just increase faith. So I just unlocked one before, so I can marry people now.
Yeah, no. Have you done it yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, spoilers. You don't make people get married. You get married, and you can marry as many of your cult members as you want. However, there is now an additional stat. They get jealous of each other, so that creates more dissent because they get aggressive at you. It's awesome.
My favorite ritual at the moment is Bountiful Harvest, and it just instantly maxes out all seeds that you've planted.
Yeah.
So I plant like 100 seeds and then just go do their bountiful harvest, and all my shit grows at once, and I just harvest everything. And then I've got food until that's back off cooldown, because all the rituals have you can only use them like once every couple of days.
I like the feast. I just go feast, and everyone's not hungry anymore. I'm like, and I fuck off for a week. But no, it's great. The team here, I can't think off the top of my head. Is it Monster Magnet or Monster something? The Maximum Monster, or whatever the team's called.
Team on that?
Huh?
Aussie team on that?
I believe they're an Aussie team, and they have absolutely smashed it. This game is, I can't words about how good this game is. So, look, it's one of those things that we're going to have to see it through, because it's like right now we're like it. You know what? It's one of those things. Massive monster. There we go. Like, I don't even know what the end of this game's going to be. Like, you know, what's going to happen. Thank you, Puck. Massive monster. But even if I never see the end of it, and I just piss fart around with my cult for this time,
and Melbourne too,
it's already going to be better. This is already better than, you know. It's, as I said, like, I've talked about how I've come and gone in the last couple of months around excitement for games, etc., and nothing's really jumping me and grabbing me. But I don't know what it is about the Cult of the Lamb, but it has grabbed me, and it's all I want to do. Which doesn't happen often for me, like especially lately when it comes to games. Like, even you messaged me today, Max, and you're like, I've been playing a lot of Cult of the Lamb today. I'm like, I know. Isn't it awesome?
Well, I got on to that earlier today to do the news doc for tonight, and then I ended up playing Cult of the Lamb for 2.5 hours and didn't do the news doc. I was like, well, whatever.
Yeah. I knew what I had planned for today. So yesterday I did all the shit I had to. So I did the presentation, then I came home, I scrubbed the living fuck out of my bathroom, did some cleaning up around the house, this, that, the other. So I knew that today I could go, and I did exactly that. I was hoping to sleep in, but my brain woke me up early, and then I was like, ooh, I got to do some running around. So I went to Bunnings, I did the things that I had to do, and then I came home, and then I just played Cult of the Lamb for like 4 hours plus or something. I don't know how. I actually have no idea how long it's been. It
says on the save menu.
It's been a long time since I've just gone, oh, cool, and I've just sat and played a game for an extended period of time. Normally my ADHD doesn't let me anyway, but let alone getting enough buy-in in a game to do that. It's just, this game is absolutely remarkable. Anything you want to touch upon before we jump to another game?
No, you've pretty much covered it nicely.
Yeah, it's so fucking good.
It's so good.
So good. But one of the other games I did play this week was 2 Point Campus. So I picked this game up off the store when it dropped on Tuesday after a couple of days with no internet. I did finally buy it. Oh, man. So, fun fact, both because Max lives down the road from me. Turns out someone was digging and cut the internet pipe for HFC, for the cable internet here in Highton, and the pipes then proceeded to leak internet everywhere, and yeah, we were out of internet for 3 days, 2.5 days, about 36 hours at least. Yeah. It was one of those things where I'm like, man, I forgot how good internet is, eh?
Yeah, it's really hard when all your TV runs off internet.
It's one of those things, like all my old DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff, like, are in boxes, like, and since I've moved, and like I don't have access to them, and I'm like, what the fuck do I watch? So I just stared at the wall for a couple of hours.
What are Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, but I ended up playing Rock Band for a while, which was awesome fun, by the way. We'll get back to 2 Point Campus. So I played Rock Band 4 on the PS5 for a while. Game's still mint. It's absolutely fantastic. But it was really cool because I haven't played it in... How long have I lived here for? 8 months minimum. Picked it up as if I never stopped. Drumming, same. Guitar, same. And I'm like, wow, I've wasted so much of my life playing this fucking game. Because I'm just like busting out expert, drums, expert plus, because I've got the cymbals and stuff. I'm like, man, I really should just play real music. I bet I'd be way worse at it. But yeah, no, it's good. Because I did invited you, Max, as I come play the Rock Band. I thought about it, but then you were like, I'm going to, watch 17 hours of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, me and my wife watched Lord of the Rings Fellowship.
Nice.
Good
Extended.
fun. Yeah, extended. Took us 2 nights.
Yeah. So when was the last time you smashed some Rock Band? Years,
Oh
right? Oh no, you picked
no,
it up semi recently. Remember?
no, yeah, I played it probably a couple of months ago.
Mm.
Good fun.
It's good fun. But so is Two Point Campus. So, Two Point Campus is the sequel from the Two Point is the name of the developing team, follow up from their Two Point Hospital. So, in the same way that Two Point Hospital was essentially a newer version of the theme hospital games from back in the day, same concept. Now it's a campus. Now it's a university. So, rather than running a hospital, running a campus. Tons of fun. So, it's a little bit different in that it's not like it is ongoing, but it does have that yearly structure to it where the hospitals just keep the hospital running all the time. This has an academic year, here to here. So you need to achieve certain things within that academic year, and then you get to use the summer holidays to really like expand on this, expand that, the other. So although you're making little hot fixes throughout the year, like adding, various items that are requested, building extra things, this, that, the other, but the back end of the year is because you kind of get like a nice money dump, like tuition fees, etc. at the end of the year, which then allows you to expand and add more classes, add more rooms, this, that, the other, and it's just more of that fun management style of game that turns out I have a real hard on for. So the two games that I spent most of the time this week playing were, excuse me, resource and management games. And I'm not even mad about it. It's so very similar to that of Two Point Hospital. It's all silly. There's different names for different courses. Like the first one you do is scientography, which is just scienceography. It's an interesting one. And there's a virtual reality one, which has a silly name, and then it just keeps getting dumb. And there's a couple of different things about it that are kind of probably aren't needed, but I get why they're there. So they do kind of have this campus radio where they have someone who does all these little, quick whip sort of stories and quick wit sort of stories, I should say. And it's like, okay, the first time it was funny. It's kind of not landing so much now. All right, keep going. All right, you done? Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Then there's a little like a woman that speaks to the announcer, like, attention all students, just a friendly reminder that I am not your mum. And, just dumb little things like that. And they're kind of okay. They chuckle, but, it is really good. I am really enjoying it. I don't have the same level of like enamoredness that I had for Two Point Hospital, but probably because it's just early days. As I open more classes, as I see more cool things and I see more of those creative ideas, I'll probably start to enjoy it a lot more, I think. But look, I've talked like nonstop for what feels like an hour. Max, what have you been playing outside of the Cult of the Lamb?
Outside of Cult of the Lamb, the only other game that I've been playing is Escape Academy.
What the hell's Escape Academy?
So it's basically kind of a point and click adventure, but you also can move around. But essentially, they're just mini escape rooms. So the premise is you want to be the greatest escapist in the world, and you go to this university that teaches escape artists, and you just do random puzzles, and it's really cool. It is available on PlayStation as well as Xbox. I am playing it on Xbox as it's came through Games Pass, but it is absolutely fantastic if you're a fan of like puzzle games or escape rooms or anything like that.
How did you even come across this?
I'm a fan of escape rooms and puzzle games, and I
know that.
This,
but like,
well, I just peruse Games Pass every once in a while and be like, hey, let's see what's interesting, and this tickled my fancy. So I had a look, downloaded it. It's free, why not? And it's really, really good. So I'm at the very end where it pits you against a fellow student. So it's kind of like a time trial, and you're doing a series of puzzles. You have to try and race the other student who's doing the same puzzles as you. Mm-hmm. And I have not beaten it yet. I keep playing it late at night when my brain's not
quite ready, not quite shooting the best way.
Yeah. But yeah, it's fantastic if you're a fan of like puzzle style games, similar to like What was that one that we got for PlayStation Plus a couple of months ago that was co-op only?
Operation Tango.
Yeah, it's similar to that, but not split screen co-op.
Okay, interesting.
Very cool.
Fantastic. Anything else you've been playing?
No, not really. Just that and Cult of the Lamb.
Good. Let's get that out of the way. Let's get in a section called Inform the Players. We tell you about what happened this week in PlayStation. Not a whole lot. If we're being honest, like not a whole lot happened, but some things did step out. Some things did shine.
So we'll kick off with last week we talked about the PlayStation Essential games that were coming out this month. Now we've got the extra /premium/deluxe titles for August. We have Bugsnax, Dead by Daylight, Ghost Recon Wildlands, Metro Exodus, Monopoly Madness, Monopoly Plus, Trials of Mana, Uno, Wheel of Fortune, Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami, and Yakuza Kiwami 2. No classic PS3, PS2, PS1, or PSP titles are a part of the August 2022 lineup for PlayStation Plus Premium. They are all PS4, PS5 titles.
All right. So, Bugsnax, surprisingly good, even though I shat on it for the longest time. Ghost Recon Wildlands is fun, as long as you play with a full squad. And if it's free, people are going to play with it on their full squad. It's the best way to experience that game. So much better than Breakpoint. The list of fun party games, that is a good idea. That's a good touch.
However, all the Ubisoft titles that come with Ubisoft Play or Connect, or whatever the fuck the Ubisoft thing is called.
However, again, a distinct lack of PS1 or PS2 games. Okay, look, I'm at this point now, Max, where we're 3 months in. 2 months in, 3 months in. 3 months in.
Something like that.
We are paying for the highest tier. That highest tier, the entire selling point of that tier is the classic games. Yeah, PS1, yeah, PS2 games. And they're like they have given us dick nothing. So there is literally no reason to get to this tier. Just go down. Everyone just drop down to the fucking second tier. Everyone just get extra. Extra? What's the next middle one?
Extra.
Yeah, yeah. It's deluxe, whatever the hell, Get the middle tier, right? Extra. Because as of right now, Sony are yet to deliver anything of note. Like, yeah, they gave you some at the start, but nothing since. And to make matters worse, they're trying to trick you, essentially, or hope you wouldn't notice. They go, hey, those Yakuza games are remade PS3 games, therefore they're classics. Pow, pow, pow. No, they're fucking not, mate. Where's your PS1 games? Where's your PS2 games? Can you fucking hurry up and get the PS Now support here in Australia? Because we are missing out on PS3 games too. This is is it just me, or is this unacceptable?
It's a bit shit. Like the only reason why I got the top tier is because I wanted to experience those PS1, PS2 titles, and I think we've gotten 2 so far.
Yeah, outside of the ones that came with it. It was Loco Roco and something else.
Like, we're still missing classics like Tekken. Like, we got Tekken 2, but not Tekken 3. We got
Tekken 3. It's like on your PlayStation Mini. You have the ROMs. Just move the fuck. Where's your Silent Hills? Where's the original Medieval? You've got the new one. Give us the old one. You got Siphon Filter. Where's 2 and 3 even? People would have finished Siphon Filter 1 by now.
Yeah. So it's a bit hit and miss.
It's fucked.
It's a shame.
All this really shows me is that PlayStation have 100% jumped the gun on this. They felt the pressure to get it done quickly, probably because of all the leaks, etc. They went, hey everyone, it's out now, and you should totally buy. Like the only way to get it is to pay for the year now, and then not deliver anything. It's disappointing. All right, next bit. Looks like some apps are getting some upgrades, Max. So key multimedia apps on the PS5 like Spotify and Disney Plus have utilized backwards compatible PS4 code. But it looks like they'll be replaced by native PS5 versions soon. PS Store sleuth PlayStation Game Site spotted a new version of the music streaming app on Sony's backend. Ultimately, while this is unlikely to bring many major improvements, it should be smoother than the existing version. I have some problems with the Spotify app, so anything to make it better would be great. A PS5 version of Disney Plus is also in testing under the codename Vader. This is actually a more anticipated update as the current version of the game streaming does not provide full support for 4K playback on the console. A colossal oversight that should have been rectified already. So they have like IMAX equivalent or HD or they don't. It's not a full 4K. Is that like it's a bit shit. But my problem with the Spotify app is that it sometimes just forgets what song you're playing. And you go to the now playing and it's like 4 songs ago and you can't change it. You have to hard close the app and reset it. It's busted. It's nothing to do with it being a PS4 app. It's just busted. But not to talk about my new TV. But I've been using the native apps on the TV. Because I have been finding that like for some reason the picture is better on the TV, and I guess it's this. I guess it's the app support, right? Has to, like, even when it comes to Netflix, I'm like, this looks better on here. So I watch it on the apps instead. Like, could you use your consoles as media hubs? Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this going to affect you?
Not in the grand scheme of things, because the TV in my bedroom's not 4K, so it doesn't really matter. It just looks how it looks. It's fine. And when I'm sitting at my computer, which is where I play PlayStation, I'll have the computer running Spotify or Netflix or whatever, so I'm getting 4K regardless. I tend to not. I don't use my PS5 as a media center.
You know what speaking of media center, you know what I really miss? I really miss this. On the PS3, they had this really cool setting where you could essentially use your PS3 as a media server. So I could connect it to my PC, and then I could just like go in there and go, hey, can you pull this video off my computer? And I could watch like movies and TV that I had downloaded without having to like get up and plug it into the console. It was awesome. And
there's an app for that. It's called Plex.
Oh, really?
You can do it. You set up a home media server with Plex. Super easy. You just install Plex. You scan your computer. It uploads. It saves all of your movies, TV shows. It collates them for you, and then you open the app on your PlayStation. As long as they're on the same network and they're both on, it just fucking works and it streams it straight away. It's no problem. It exists. It's just an app now.
Well, there you go. You know what I'm downloading after this? Plex. That does not solve that problem.
If you've got a lot of video data on your PC, get ready for a fucking... It takes ages the first time you do it.
Oh, okay.
Because it scans everything.
Oh, no. Next.
All right. Paying to block games. Microsoft has claimed that Sony pays publishers and developers, quote, block fees to stop them from putting their titles on Xbox Game Pass. In response to Sony's assertions that the Call of Duty franchise influences, quote, users' console choice and lacks a proper rival, the Xbox Series X maker has said Sony is stalling the company's ability to grow its subscription service. This is because of the payments made to developers that prevent them from, quote, from adding content to Game Pass and other competing subscription services. These comments appear in the document justifying Microsoft's acquisition of Activision, sent to the Brazilian Administrative Council for Economic Defense and as spotted by Reset Era member IDIS. Sony and other third-party companies were asked to submit their thoughts on the purchase last month, which is where Sony originally made its concerns known, and Microsoft's response suggests it thinks Sony is fearful of Xbox Game Pass. Microsoft explains, quote, considering that exclusivity strategies have been the core of Sony's strategy to strengthen its presence in the games industry, and that Sony is a leader in the distribution of digital games, Sony's concern with possible exclusivity of Activision's content is incoherent, to say the least, end quote.
I have a number of things to say about this. All right, number one. Fucking of course they are. Of course they're paying people to not go to Games Pass. Are you shitting me? And Xbox doing the same. What's that? Is there as a Tunic? That game's not coming to PlayStation for months. Because you know why? Because on Games Pass first. Shock horror. They've kind of done the same thing. what it feels like, this literally feels like two fucking people bitching and whining at each other, and everyone's like, "But they did it." You're like, "Yeah, but they did it differently." And this, that, the other. It's fucking dumb. And look, I'm gonna comment on something that was mentioned in this report too, in Microsoft's response to this Brazilian thing. Microsoft essentially on the line, they were like, "Yeah, so look, what Activision do? It ain't that unique. It ain't that amazing. Don't worry about it, Sony. They're not a game changer. I'm sorry, then, Microsoft. If they make nothing of note, nothing unique, why did you buy them?
Because they make money. They don't.
Then they're not unique. That's what makes them unique. Then why not buy any? Like, you have studios that make shooters, do you not? So if what Activision do isn't unique, just copy it or don't copy it and do what your own shit. Why buy it? Like the insane level of contradiction and just hypocrisy within that statement. Because if they're like, well, if they're not important, why'd you buy them? Like, we just felt like spending the money and buying Activision Blizzard because what they do, everyone else does, I guess. So why did you buy anybody else that's cheaper? And they're sitting here going, "Oh, Sony's dealing in the exclusivity market. They're paying people to not be exclusive." You're buying people out. How is that not the same? Like, rather than stopping one game from coming through, you're stopping an entire company from doing it. That is substantially worse. And does Sony fear Games Pass? Fuck yes, they do. Because it's better than PS Plus. If I was PlayStation, I'd be shitting bricks about the idea of Game Pass. And in the chat, MGB jumps in and goes, "Companies will say and do anything to stop each other. Just look at the streaming wars, bingo. Everybody's doing everything to mess with each other. And does Sony forget they had Killzone? Those games were so much fun. I miss Killzone too. Killzone is great, but Sony are correct. It's got nothing on Call of Duty. Call of Duty sells less now than it has forever. And it's still one of the best-selling games of all time. Nothing unique about it, though. Nah, don't worry about it. Nah, it's cool. It's cool." But yeah, this whole thing about exclusivity, look, straight up, Sony are unquestionably stuck in the old way of doing things, right? They essentially are wanting to perpetuate the old way of doing things in the old market, not changing. Part of me likes that. I felt that there was really nothing wrong with the old way of doing things. To me, it made perfect sense. And like, I'm not a big conservative guy or anything, but I'm like, yeah, this system works. Game Pass, yeah, it's great. It is innovative. Innovation is awesome. Innovation is what will drive this industry forward. But I still don't think a subscription style model like this is really sustainable. I really don't. I think it actually devalues all the games that are involved with it. And like on average, like, yeah, you go, "Oh, well, I wouldn't have played this game until like I got it on Games Pass, and I've played it. It's great." But like, exclusivity is essential to this whole industry. Is that good? No, but it's what it's built upon. Because the second that we remove exclusivity, why have two competing consoles? Because if they do the exact same thing, what's the fucking need? Really? They could just talk about a hardware side of things, but console architecture is built in such a way that really, internally, an Xbox and a PlayStation aren't that different.
Well, I guess it depends on what they mean by their quote of considering that exclusivity strategies have been at the core of Sony's strategy to strengthen its presence in the games industry. Is that them talking about Sony paying to have exclusives, or Sony having their own exclusives that they're not willing to put everywhere else? Because they own those they own those developers. They're Sony developers, therefore they're only going to be on Sony. So Xbox are like, well, we need more developers that are only Microsoft, so we're going to buy Activision, and we're making those games exclusive, much the way that Sony make their games exclusive. What's the real issue?
Then their argument is instantly invalid. They're penalizing Microsoft are penalizing PlayStation for something that they are also doing. It's going, I know you are, but what am I? It's essentially what is going on here. And
I know. They're doing that. If you can do it, why can't we? You have all these great exclusives that we don't have access to. Why can't we do the same thing? Why are you trying to block our purchase?
But even then,
want to do what you're already doing.
Oh, no. But on the other side of things, right? Microsoft, they essentially own, like they are PC, right? So they aren't. Like, when they go, oh, we're cross-platform, we're not exclusive. You run 2 of the 3 fucking platforms, the main platforms for playing games, PC and Xbox. And I'm not saying that I don't. So the point I'm making, no. So the whole notion that PlayStation need to open up their stuff more to other companies because we're doing it over here, you're shaking your own hand. It's not impressive.
That's not their argument
here. I'll get there. But PlayStation are now putting their things on PC. Hurrah! Woohoo! That the other. Cool. I have no issue with that. More people playing PlayStation games, fucking awesome. But the whole idea that PlayStation just go, hey, we are just going to buy the exclusivity rights for this one game. Whatever your next game is, sure. Like they work in smaller exclusive windows, individual items. They don't so if you were to buy a fucking dozen of eggs, PlayStation go, I'm going to buy 2 of those eggs. Where Microsoft is, I want to buy the whole eggs. I'm going to buy all dozen of those eggs. Why? Because I have the money to do so. And then we'll share them around to just our friends. Is that not worse? That is substantially worse than just buying exclusivity rights for a couple things. I'm sorry. It's so much worse. Am I wrong?
Like I said, it depends on the viewpoint of how they're looking at it. Like it really is, because like I said, Sony is very set in their exclusives with all their studios. Microsoft realized that the studios that they already have can't compete. So they're buying something that could compete.
No,
because the issue is like you say that your issue is with them buying them, but if they were to buy exclusivity rights to all their games anyway and not purchase the company itself, you'd still have an issue.
No.
So you'd have no problem with all Activision games being exclusive to Microsoft as long as Microsoft
didn't own because that's not how that works. Then they own the company. It's the same thing. But the idea of just having exclusivity rights to a couple of titles, okay, sure, why not? That I'm okay. And that's what Sony are doing. They have their own internal studios, and everything else is a deal about a specific game. They aren't just taking they aren't taking the whole ball home and going away with it. They're like, hey, can we borrow that ball for a little while? Now, there are some that are like, I would argue, like the Square Enix deal, etc. That's a little bit fucking weird because they should already have been, like, Final Fantasy VII Remake should be on Xbox by now. And I don't know why it's not. It should be. They had their window. Okay, fine. But what I also, and we're getting to the bigger conversation here, is that, they're commenting on PlayStation's business practices and their negative impact on the market. I'm sorry, the merger and acquisitions trajectory right now is substantially worse in the long run. Because if Microsoft set that precedent, which they have, suddenly you like your 10 cents, and your Embracer groups, everyone that just starts buying up everything, and then there's nothing left. That is a way more dangerous, a way more gross path for this market to take. And that's what they're setting up here. They're going, this response, the attitude, like the delivery of their attitude right now, is talking about the now. without really considering, I believe, the future. The idea of like, oh, well, they can't do it because it impacts us now. Not thinking of what this decision will do in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years.
Yeah.
But like in the same boat, like if PlayStation were go, because the rumor mill right now is Sony's gonna buy Square Enix. I'd be just as shitty if they did the same thing. If in 3 weeks from now and a month from now they go Sony buys Square Enix, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop it. Stop it. Stop buying everything. It's not about just seeing how many studios you can put under your umbrella. It's the same concept around like the Discord thing, right? Microsoft went, we're going to buy you Discord. And they went, no. And PlayStation were like, we're going to invest in you. And they went, all right.
And then Microsoft got support first.
In theory.
Yeah, I mean...
and in practice, but we haven't seen what... Yeah.
It's still there.
Yeah. I don't know. Look, I am not smart enough to truly understand all this fiscal stuff, but I at least have what I would consider some sort of idea around business, at least a little bit. And it just reads like two spoiled kids yelling at each other. And they've both done wrong. And they're both continuing to do wrong. But they're just doing wrong from different angles. They're almost like they're both on the exact same side, but they're still yelling at each other. They both have the answer of stop doing it. And they proceed to just keep yelling. And things like this will make me cynical about this business. Hey, you like Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah, it was alright. It was alright. No, it was really good. It's very, very good. Although it is your story, not mine.
Oh shit! Is it my turn?
You wouldn't know because you ranted for 20 minutes. But
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Definitely,
all right.
all you.
Ghost of Tsushima. I didn't really enjoy the game that much, but Max got to be going hard on for it. And it sounds like the upcoming Ghost of Tsushima movie will be presented entirely in Japanese with subtitles. Hey, subs over dubs, Max. I know you're happy. Assuming the John Wick director Chad Stahelski gets his way. Speaking with Collider, the filmmaker explained that, quote, Sony is on board, end quote, with the idea, but admitted that he won't be getting a $200 million budget to realize his ambition. Quote, I think if we did this right, it would be visually stunning, he beamed. It's character driven, it's got an opportunity for great action, great looks, and honestly, we'd to try to do it all. Thanks. All in character. Meaning, it's a Japanese thing about the Mongols invading Tsushima Island, a complete Japanese cast in Japanese. Sony is so on board with backing us on that. I've been going to Japan since I was 16. I have a love of the country, love of the people, and a love of the language. No one is going to give me $200 million to do a technology push movie without speaking English, he admitted. I get it. So I have to be clever and I have to figure out what's fiduciary responsible to the property, to the studio, and still get what I want out of it and still make it something epic. Again, big challenge, man. I'm actually surprisingly down with this. I think this is great.
Yeah, but when you think that the biggest market for these are going to be the Western market and people don't like fucking reading shit.
Nah, it's weebs, man. Like this, you know what the greatest market of this is? Weebs. And what do weebs always prefer? Subs.
Subs over dubs, but a lot of people will get turned off this movie because they're like, I have to read?
I don't want to go because it's a giant neckbeard fantasy. That's the reason I'm not going to watch it. But
it's a giant neckbeard.
No, it totally is. Let's play a game where we get to live the way of the sword and be katanas and shit. But look, I'm excited for the movie. Like, I'm excited for the idea of this movie. Like, even though it's not for me. The game wasn't for me. This movie's not going to be for me. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. But I love the creative idea of like we are going to essentially make a Kurosawa movie, but now. Okay? I love that. That's so good. Yeah. One of the biggest problems that the movie industry has right now is they're stale. There's no creative endeavor. Like, it's just the same shit on repeat. And, like, if they were to, you know, because if this gentleman didn't have his way, I'm sure it'd be Chris Pratt playing fucking Jin Sakai, right? So, yeah, give me an all Japanese cast. Yeah, have him speak Japanese. That's fucking mad. Yes. Am I going to watch it? No. but I love the idea.
All right, Ryan. Some depressing news.
Ah, shit.
We missed the train.
Ah, shit.
Warner Brothers has announced that Hogwarts Legacy will not be making its projected late 2022 release window. Instead, it will launch for PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 on the 10th of February 2023. Once again, it fucks Ryan. The publisher confirmed the news in a tweet where it said the game is being pushed back because the team needs, quote, a little more time to deliver the best possible game experience. And to fuck Ryan's draft for a second year.
2 years in a row. I haven't even checked what our draft games are because I don't know where the book is that I wrote them in.
I'm scared to look because I know a lot of mine are delayed too.
2 years in a row, I have been assaulted by Hogwarts Legacy. It's meant to come out last year and it didn't. It's meant to come out this year and then it didn't.
It was meant to come out twice this year and it didn't.
So look, this all came out as over Gamescom weekend, which there are some cool things that came out, like Alone in the Dark. Fuck yeah, give me Alone in the Dark. I love Alone in the Dark, A New Nightmare on PS1 and PS2.
Was it
That was
Gamescom?
Yeah, that is showcased as part of Gamescom. So, or is Gamescom coming up?
I thought Gamescom was next weekend.
Then why the fuck did we find out about Hogwarts Legacy now?
It was a tweet. They're like, "Hey, it's not happening."
Why not do it? Fucking okay, whatever. Cool. I thought it was part of Gamescom.
The tweet with the yellow background is the way to do it. If you're going to delay a game, you fucking put a picture up with some words on it and it's a tweet.
You put it in a blog post, so you put it on social media.
Industry fucking standard, okay? It's a tweet. That's all you get.
Look, I am a little bit bummed about this because I did want to play this a lot.
I'm so keen.
Yeah.
I'm still so keen.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm still just going to play in February.
They put it right near fucking that Square Enix game. They got Forspoken.
Another trailer for that came out this week, and it looks even worse. That game is trash. I can tell you right now that game is going to be garbage, and I cannot wait to watch you play it.
No, I'm so keen.
But yeah, Hogwarts, I'm still excited for this game, except now I'm just excited in February, and that's okay. The thing for me is February going to be as bullshit as it was this year?
No.
It was pretty gnarly this year. And isn't there a lot of stuff already in Q1?
Possibly.
And if God of War gets delayed, as everyone keeps saying it is, it's going to get moved to Q1.
You know what's going to happen? If depending on when they announce God of War's delayed to Q1, all of those games that got pushed to Q1 are fucking coming back to Q4 this year.
Yeah, it's going to scatter.
Because they all left because of God of War.
No, they're going to leave that week open because no one's going to fuck with Skull and Bones. So that's what's going to happen. They're going to leave that window. Like, nah, this is all Skull and Bones window. Everyone wants pirate games.
Singapore can have this week.
Yeah. Look, it's a game that's 3 years too late, so let's all give it some room. But look, that bums me up. So I'm still really excited. And it doesn't... I was kind of hoping it would be a cool game to play over Christmas. You know, it'd be kind of fun. You know, think about it. And would have been nice. Would have been great. Would have been great if we could have tied it into like September, like the year, you know, the start of the calendar year in the Hogwarts. On a plus side, though, you'll be in your new house by then, presumably.
Oh God, I hope so.
And I would imagine you've already built your sweet Lego Hogwarts castles. You can look over your Hogwarts castle. You can draw a little lightning bolt on your forehead. You can get your hoodie on or your gown. Did you have a Hogwarts hoodie? Harry Potter hoodie.
Slytherin hoodie.
Yeah, if you put your Slytherin hoodie on, you get your butter beers and you jump into Hogwarts. Like that. Actually, you probably shouldn't do that because it'll be like fucking February. February's gonna be hot as balls. Like, please don't put an hoodie on in February. You'll die.
Hey, I'll have an air conditioner in that room anyway.
Yeah, them sweet, just good insulation in that new house. All right.
Set the temperature to like 12 and put my hoodie on because it's freezing.
All right, let's wrap this up with the quick bits. Future Games Show is to present around 50 games later this month. Hot damn. The PS4/PS5 exclusive for the Modern Warfare 2 beta begins on September 16th. Okay. Dragon Ball is coming to Fortnite this week.
Guess who's going to have to buy some V-Bucks?
Oh, man. That is really just a fever dream of a game, isn't it? It's insane. Gotham Knights PS5 open world is the largest Gotham City ever in a game. That's pretty cool. Ha! And finally, Activision removes the plagiarized Call of Duty skin and apologizes, and saying, "quote We have the utmost respect for creativity and content creation. Do you? We love the loyal Samoyed, but regrettably, we erred in our process." And have removed this imagery from the game. We apologize for this misstep. It wasn't a misstep. We apologize for blatantly stealing. We're sorry. From the South Park meme says Puck. We're sorry.
And upcoming titles for this week, we have Rollerdrome PS5 August 16th. Way of the Hunter PS5 August 16th. Cursed to Golf PS5 August 18th. Thymesia PS5 August 18th, which I'm super keen on.
That sounds itchy.
It's a Soulsborne style game.
Oh.
So by someone, I think.
Cool.
Team 17 are doing it.
Oh, all right, yeah, nice.
RPG Time: The Legend of Wright PS4 August 18th. Cloudpunk PS5 August 19th. Madden NFL 23 PS5 August 19th. Saints Row PS5 August 23rd. And Midnight Fight Express PS4 August 23rd.
Oh shit, that's exciting.
Yeah.
So
technically Saints Row isn't this week. It's like 2 days after the week. So that's my bad.
That's all right. Look, so I have put in key requests for both Rollerdrome and Saints Row.
You spoken to Play On?
Yeah, man.
It's Play On, right? It's not
Play On. Kosh anymore. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited for Saints Row. Like, even though yes, technically it's after next week's show, that's all right. But no, I'm itching for Saints Row. It looks dumb. Yeah, I'm totally in. But Rollerdrome, I know you were keen, and it looks kind of cool. I have very low thoughts and expectations on that game, but I'm more than happy to be proven wrong. And if I play
the struggle is pulling yourself away from Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah, that's true. I got to get through the bishops before next week, because even before Saints Row, like that's gonna be a problem to get that done.
Because unlike most roguelikes, it's not one of those ones where you're like, I'll just do a quick run or two, because you've got to do fucking so much more.
Yeah, and I kind of love it that way, though. I love it for it. But anyways, that does bring us to the end of the show. Big thank you for everyone that joined and jumped in. It's much appreciated. As I say all the time, one of the greatest things you can ever do is share your time with someone. So thank you so much for sharing some of yours with us. Max.
Well, everyone, this PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to join us in future conversations with us, you can. Come and check out our socials. Facebook at some point. Discord, Twitter is probably the best way. Instagram, my new OnlyFans. Come check us out. All those links are in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturists. Where you can watch us record this show live. You can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation Pod. If you are listening on podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you are on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopculturists, as well as our merchandise, topofculture.com/shop. My shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. So I apologize for getting ranty this week, everyone. What are you going to do about it? But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
And I'm going to play Cult of the Lamb.
And that was the Cult of the for the players.